Hey y'all, what's going on? It's BarbMeetsWorld, and we are here today to discuss the Real Housewives of Potomac's season 10, episode 7. Guess who's back? Y'all, we are finally getting the episode that a lot of us probably have been waiting for since the season was announced and her addition to the cast was announced, that is. Yes, we got Monique Samuels back on Real Housewives of Potomac. But before we get into all that, y'all, you already know I need you guys to do a couple things for myself, which include liking the video because it helps me and my channel in terms of the algorithm, helps me attract new subscribers such as yourself. And if you're not a current subscriber, go ahead, hit the subscription button, become a Barb's babe. I would love to have you. Also, while you're at it, let me know your thoughts on this episode and my commentary below in the comment section, and also be sure to share me with all of your folks near and far. All right, so here we go. Hey y'all, what's going on? Actually, wait 1 second. Let me close this door because I did not mean to leave it open, and y'all don't need to see these moving boxes in my hall. So anyway, what you guys think of this episode though? And I do apologize. I was a little bit late coming to y'all, so I do apologize, but I am here. And this recap, this review is a little bit later than I would have liked it to be, y'all. And that's because, well, last week was just wildly busy for me. And then I got sick. And I don't know if you can still hear it in my voice a little bit, but I was a little bit under the weather. And I also have been going through it with my computer because, and y'all know if you own a Mac or whatever, it can be kind of annoying as compared to a regular desktop. And I say that because I never really treated it how it should have been treated. So this is all really my fault, but I was running out of storage and I literally had to reset my entire computer. I do a factory reset and then it was still giving me issues and I had to delete a whole bunch of stuff. So long story short, that also had me down for the count for a couple of days also, but we're here and we're gonna get into the episode right now. But actually, I'm going to go live on TikTok too. So if you guys see me looking over here a little bit, it's because I'm also going to be live on TikTok. If you don't follow me on TikTok, make sure you follow me on TikTok, as well as all of my other social media platforms that are scrolling at the bottom of the screen. Hey, TikTok, y'all make sure you come on over here to YouTube and subscribe to the channels. So you guys can be in the know about all things BarbMeetsWorld. But what do you guys think of this episode? I want to know. What do you guys think of this episode? Are you happy to see Monique back? Are you not happy to see Monique back? Y'all let me know. Not gonna lie, not gonna hold you. Monique, season 5 was about the time that I started to really get into the show. I wasn't a A1 day one when it comes to Potomac. So y'all, I would love to know what you guys think. I know that season 5 was kind of a breaking point for a lot of people. I heard it was tough down here in these YouTube streets for a lot of creators when season 5 happened. So again, we know what happened in season 5. We know what happened upon Monique's departure. So I just really want to know what you guys feel as far as having her back on the show. And my good sis California Cutie is in the building. Hey sis. Y'all stay tuned. And you guys too on TikTok. That's why you guys need to come on over here to YouTube. I will be going live probably again sometime in the next few hours with my sis California Cutie to recap the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City if you guys watch that as well. So yes, stay tuned for that. Hey, Simon, I don't want to butcher that. So, hey, how you doing? I'm good. Thank you for joining us. Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate the compliments. Okay, you're happy. Good. My sister's happy to see Monique. So, okay, right now, I'm cool with her being back. I don't have any issues with it. I feel like we're actually going to get the real authentic Monique this time around, hopefully. She is divorced, and she kind of dives into that just a little bit here in this opening scene. So and I think we get to hear a little bit even more about that in this episode 8 that's coming up, and I'm kind of looking forward to that, because I don't know if I don't know if a lot of you guys caught her on the Real Housewives of DC. Got canceled. If you guys followed her on over to Love and Marriage DC, a lot of people were kind of like, they didn't really know, they didn't really like what she may have been given over there too. So it's just a lot of thoughts and opinions on Miss Monique Samuels. Very tough. I was Team Monique, but I like Candace as well. Yeah, I kind of feel the exact same. I was good with both of them, and it really sucks what happened between them. I do kind of feel like this kind of marks a line in the sand as far as Candace coming back. I can kind of see this maybe being something where she probably won't definitely come back now that Monique is back on the show. I don't know. Only time will tell. But anyway, y'all. A few quick clips as usual. We roll right into, like I just said, Monique, her reintroduction. She is reintroduced by way of Ashley, of course, because her and Ashley have always kind of kept in communication over the years. Actually, I gotta pause right there, because I find it a little crazy that Ashley and her like saying like, oh, they've always kind of remained like cool throughout the years or whatever. When, hey friend, how are you? It has been so long. It's been too long. I'm over here running my mouth about the Real Housewives of Potomac, but I just find it kind of crazy that was said, because wasn't Ashley the first one to come down on the internet and try to break the news about Monique and Chris supposedly separating or whatever? And then that prompted Monique and Chris to come and play in our face a little bit more and say that wasn't true or whatever. I don't know. I wouldn't be too cool with a person that gets down like that, but this is reality TV, I guess. Anyway, and so we know that, or should I say, Monique, I found it funny also when she was like, oh, I'm 300 pounds lighter now, and et cetera, et cetera. And I was just like, Monique, not too much, Monique, because wasn't she also the one that was having issues with the Gizelles of the world referring to Chris as big boy and all that or whatever? And I get it, it's your man, so of course you're always going to go up for your mans or whatever, but I'm just like, not too much, because you was cool with it when you was cool with it. And actually, if I'm not mistaken, Chris has lost a substantial amount of weight since they have divorced or whatever. So again, not too much, I guess. Not too much. Anyway, Ashley tells her about GNA, and Monique was like, girl, what? Like, you doing a fashion line with Gizelle? Because we know that Gizelle is not known for her fashions. Maybe her green eyes, but not her fashions. And so I think that's all of our thoughts when we first found out about GNA. But nonetheless, Monique also divulged that she did talk to Karen before she was incarcerated. And much like, several of the other ladies also did talk to her as she was about to go into the slammer. And Monique also says that she hasn't spoken to Wendy since back, in the day, pretty much. And I found that to be, I didn't really find that to be odd, because, and just like she said, and just like Wendy had said later on in the episode, like that was them just becoming acquainted when everything hit the fan. So they never really were offered a chance to really get to know one another and really get to dive deeper or whatever. So it would be interesting, I guess, to see them this second go around. Do you guys think that they would be compatible as friends, or y'all let me know what you guys think? Do you guys see them joining forces potentially? I want to know. And Ashley claimed she didn't want to start ish between Monique and Stacey by bringing up the whole Chris Samuels thing. And I'm like, again, Ashley, I really don't feel like that's the truth because, like I said before, you have let your mouth get in front of you before when it comes to talking about things like this. So I'm like, that was real cute. But again, I don't feel like Ashley is completely someone that you can trust. So, but Monique, she already knows how Ashley gets down, so I'm sure she'll tread lightly to some degree. And so Ashley also invites Monique to ride with them during the Pride Parade, and that'll be obviously her official introduction back into the group. And the only stone left unturned at that point is Gizelle. We know that the last time Gizelle and Monique shared some time on the screen, it was accompanied by a cute little binder that Monique used to flame Gizelle like no other for like a 3-part reunion. So it'll be interesting seeing them get back together. Obviously there has to be some type of conversation, but what I don't want them to do is what they did with Gizelle and Wendy when they had their conflict resolution conversation. Was that last season or whatever? I don't want them to take that same approach because I feel like Bravo is in their era of watering down and kind of quickly moving past these resolutions and these conversations that a lot of us have been waiting to hear. And a lot of these issues stem from some genuine issues. So I really don't want them to just glaze over that really fast. I think it deserves a thorough conversation, obviously. So I hope we really get into that. And because if you guys didn't know, that conversation that happened between Wendy and Gizelle, apparently that went on for at least like 3 hours and we only saw it for like 3 minutes. So you see what I'm trying to say? I hope they don't do that same thing. Moving right along, Wendy and Eddie's Wendy and Eddie's house is currently under renovation, y'all. And obviously, if you have been in the blogs, if you've been in the news, you know exactly why I had to take a little moment to shake it off and pause. And that's because it's just so cringy for me to watch these scenes between them, because and Bravo doesn't make it any better. Production don't make it any better by literally adding up the total at the bottom of the screen of how much these renovations cost. Like, my God, today. Nevertheless, home is under construction pretty much from top to bottom. And it's like $100K worth of renovations. And I'm like, oh, I guess that's why you need a little bit extra coin to fund these home projects and stuff. But anyway, I'm going to try to remove that. I'm going to try to just stick to the episode right now. I'm going to just put that to the side, what's going on in real life. Anyway, Wendy tells Eddie that her dad didn't actually call her on her birthday. And of course that stood out to her because he didn't say happy birthday to his daughter, but he had time to make sure the whole family knew and was ready to celebrate and say happy birthday to her uncle, whose birthday is 5 days after her, which that's probably around my birthday. Cause I know Wendy is like the 24th or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. My birthday is May 30th. So anyway, sidebar. Anyway, I would feel the same way, but you know how else I felt in this moment? I felt a little confused because I'm like, why is this the first time we're hearing about Wendy's family dynamic as far as parenting goes, or her parents go, I should say? I don't know. And you guys can correct me in the comments. You guys know I'm never above a little correction, as long as you keep it cute and respectful, of course. But last time I checked, I don't remember us ever hearing that her dad was what's it called? I don't remember ever hearing about her dad and her not seeing each other for like the past 20 years. And that also means that then her stepfather was more so that father figure to her, and then he passed away, unfortunately, when she was around 29. Yeah, like, am I crazy? I don't remember ever hearing about this. I'm like, see, we're finally getting to peel back some of the layers on these on these ladies, and it's just crazy because we've been watching the same show for how long now? And I could say the same thing later on in the episode about Gizelle, and I'll wait to say that. But anyway, I just found that just jumped out at me, and I was just like, I want to really get to what's really going on in these women's lives and really get to the nitty-gritty about them sooner than 5 seasons to end. Like, I don't feel like that's fair. Anyway, so what else? She also said one of the main factors in her parents splitting up was religious reasons, according to her mother. And speaking of her mother calls, and I love that Wendy didn't shy away from enforcing those boundaries with her mom, because clearly her mom, very, very strongly opinionated, very much a person who will probably not shy away from speaking her mind and trying to get her way, so to speak. So her mom was like, I just have something to tell you or something to ask you real quick. And when he was like, okay, I'm gonna call you right back because I'm talking to Eddie or whatever. And her mom still tried to, she proceeded to trying to weasel her way in there with her question. And Wendy was like, no, like, I'll call you back. I love to see people having boundaries and not allowing anyone, don't matter who you are, to try to override those boundaries. I felt like that was a respectful way to hold your parent accountable. So shout out to her for that. Moving right along, then we see Stacey getting some professional photos done for her new cannabis line. And the name of the line is Shayo, which means happy in Nigerian. Probably sounds a little familiar, right? Yeah, it probably sounds a little familiar because we know that there's another cannabis brand that's been showcased on this show by the name of Happy Eddie. It also probably sounds a little odd because Stacey's the same person that said that, and I really need to go back and see the words that were used verbatim, because I feel like Stacey is a very articulate person that knows what she's saying and knows what type of words to choose in order to get the message across without divulging too much. So we heard last season that she didn't have any dealings pretty much with a cannabis line. We heard Gizelle ask her that. So it's just very funny to me that now, fast forward to this season, and Miss Mama is coming out with her own line. And not only is she coming out with her own line, but it does appear as though you are getting a little bit of your branding inspiration from Happy Eddie. I'm sorry, I just have to say it. It does. It looks a little weird, Stacey. It does. But anyway, she's going to sit here and claim that she's not trying to infringe on Happy Eddie. So I'm not going to continue to beat a dead horse with that. I guess only time will tell. And so Ashley FaceTimes her, and we find out Stacey will also be attending Jassi's wedding. Again, I'm like, Stacey, I like you, but I'm gonna need you to stop playing in our face too much, because it's cool if you want to play in these ladies' faces, stuff like that. But once I start to feel like as an audience member, you're playing in our faces, I'm like, girl, for real? TJ was one thing, but I can't keep giving you passes, because now I just find it a little odd that you were not able to confirm your attendance at Jassi's wedding an episode or two ago, but somehow miraculously you were able to rearrange some things with your business and are now able to be there for her and for the wedding. It does look a little opportunistic. Y'all let me know in the comments. Do you feel like that was just a bit opportunistic or not? Like, I just feel like it was, because it's just very befitting. It's just very befitting that once, and I want to say it's been said that Jassi wasn't yet confirmed as a member on the cast yet. So it just kind of seems like behind the scenes, maybe this fell in line with Jassi being confirmed to being on the show. And you were probably like, oh, well, she'll be on the show. This will be, you know, a part of the show or whatever. It'll also be filmed, obviously, because she probably found out that Wendy and Ashley were coming too. So I don't know how many people from the cast need to be present in another area, another location, in order for a crew to be sent out there to shoot them, to film them. Let me not say any trigger words. Anyway, I feel like that just looks a little opportunistic, Stacey. I have to keep it 100% real with you. It does. So don't be upset when they come at you sideways about that. Anyway, what else? Not too much with that. Moving right along, we catch up with Angel and her older sister. If I could breeze past this scene, I would, and that's because I know I'm about to get pissed off. And for y'all that keep saying, give her a chance, oh, you know, well, editing, or oh, she was, you know, explaining herself differently over here, or whatever. I don't give a fuck, okay? What she said in this scene, let me know everything I need to know about her, and let me know that these mean girl allegations that we keep hearing about her are probably founded in some level of truth. And I say that because Miss Mama thought it was okay to come on here and have so much to say about Wendy and her looks and et cetera, just because that she was called out for photoshopping, cropping, filtering, whatever you want to call it, chopping and screwing up her pictures to actually, funny enough, make herself look like her sister. Honestly, I feel like she was, in her edited photos, it was actually looking like she was trying to make herself look like her, just like her sister. Honestly, like that's what she was aiming for, in my opinion. But I don't know, y'all let me know. I just found it very interesting that she wanted to have so much to say about Wendy when in all actuality, you should be having so much to say about Gizelle, because Gizelle is the one that brought it up in the first place. But no, you probably don't want to have too much aimed at Gizelle because you really still want to be friends with her. Pick me. Am I making sense? I feel like I have to be making some type of sense, y'all, because she keeps up one type of facade in front of the group, or in these certain situations where she wants to be, you know, labeled as a victim or whatever. And then, you know, lo and behold, back here in the confessionals, she's a confessional gangster that's popping shit, saying whatever she wants over here. Or when she's around Kay, it's something else over here. But she wants to be like, no more drama in front of everybody else. But it's like I'm seeing through it. And I don't care what nobody says. I'm seeing through it, and something there is not right. And I feel like it's because she has some underlying issues that she needs to address with herself. And I say that because you want to call Miss Wendy, aka before and after. Once again, you are also chopping and screwing your pictures up and trying to conform to whatever you wanted to see yourself looking like on social media. So not too much. And of course, her sister's going to have her back. Obviously, I mean, we would expect obviously nothing short of that. Obviously, her sister's going to have her back in these moments, but I'm just like, see, don't even get carried away blowing too much smoke up your sister's ass, because the whole asshole lips and Forrest Whitaker eyes, I'm like, I feel like that was her way of saying something different there. And again, why did you have that to say about Wendy, who at the end of the day, Wendy might have her things with her right now. She might be battling some legal issues in real life. She might be having this going on and that going on and whatever. But one thing that we cannot deny about her is that she is a beautiful woman. And I'm just not understanding why you chose those things to say. Let me find out you're a fucking colorist too, Angel. Because that's what it's giving. Anyway, moving on. Because I told you I didn't want to talk about this because I know I was going to get pissed off. And then also she talked about she's the only person in Potomac proper or whatever. If I'm not mistaken, some of the later on episodes in this season, did we not see a trailer or a little snippet that kind of spoke to her potentially having some issues with her housing situation or something or. And last time I checked, you're renting that house. So, and there's no shade, y'all. We've all done it. Like, I'm not shading anybody for renting. I have rented several places, but we're not gonna sit here and act like, you know, like that's not that. It's not like you're owning the biggest mansion up in Potomac or something like that. You're in your little rental in Potomac proper, and that's cute and that's cool. But I guess I'm saying all this to say that, in light of recent events, we need to know that we do not need to be coming on these shows saying and poking fun and, you know, craning our necks and doing all this when we see somebody over here to left and right of us going through some type of hardships, because it can easily spin the block on your ass. And Angel, when it does, I don't want to hear shit. I don't want to hear anything. Because you've been having so much to say, even down to the BravoCon or whatever. Like, you've been having so much to say or whatever. And it's just like, you are not too far removed from being in that same exact situation. How many times have we seen people land in those same situations, but were just a season prior or an episode prior trying to throw shade or judge the next person? I'm just saying, I want to keep going though, because I don't want to make this too long. Anyway, I'll leave you guys with that. So what else? We pop on over to Tia and her kids. I do think, I think I've given you guys my theories, my ideas on Tia. I don't dislike her, but I feel like she's being very strategic in what she's showing us, or the angle of which she is operating from on this show. That, and I'm never going to talk about nobody's kids because I do think that's tacky or whatever. So don't take my words wrong. But like when she took the iPad and her son took the iPad back and stuff like that, I'm just like, oh, there's a lot going on there. And I'm of the belief that children, they're not like your property or anything like that. They're people with thoughts and feelings and opinions and stuff like that. And as long as they're conveying those things respectfully, I don't see anything wrong with that. You should want your child to feel comfortable opening up to you and stuff like that. But I'm just like, it's a little much over there for me sometimes. I'm like, oh, I definitely couldn't have got that off of my mom or my dad. But you know, I'm not her kids. I'm not her. I'm just saying. Anyway, but this whole scene, to me, the only thing that it illustrated and brought to the forefront to me is that, one, I'm really curious on what really went down at that house, because it sounded like some Project X level party or something was going on. And I mean, did anybody else pick up on, was there some underage drinking going on? Like, what happened? Because why is people throwing up in the bedrooms? And then also, why are they in the bedrooms? Because absolutely not. If we having a party or whatever, there will be nobody upstairs. You guys are staying in the common areas. I'm not even understanding that. It sounded like RHOP. He said he was there, but was he really there? Like, cops is being called. Like, what really went down over there, Tia, at the Glover household? I need to know. But obviously, we never will probably know. But anyway, I was like, oh my God. And no wonder, what's our son's name? Nathaniel? No wonder he didn't want to clean up and stuff and wanted to be adopted out, because if he was having to clean up some throw up and some Project X level freaking messes, I wouldn't want to do that shit either. Like, no, get somebody else to do it. What was going on over there? Oh my goodness. I don't know. Anyway, the next scene we get actually caught me by surprise, and I want to say it's because this is one of those very rare moments that we get to see what's really going on in Gizelle's life. And I'm actually glad that this is a storyline that we revisited, because we did hear, I want to say last season, or the season, no, it's like 2 seasons ago, right? Yeah, because her father passed away like 2 years ago, I think she said. So, and yeah, and that was the reunion where Keiarna was at, and Keiarna wasn't at the last reunion. So anyway, she's still going through it when it comes to her father's estate and everything. One, this is what I was referring to earlier when I said we're seeing different layers in these women's lives that we've never even touched on before. And Gizelle has been on, obviously she's an OG. She's been on since season 1. We are now on season 10. And I think I speak for a lot of us when I say, like, we don't even know the half of it when it comes to her, because doesn't she have a brother and sister that she never talks about, which a lot of people say is because if certain individuals don't want to have any parts of the show, then they remain anonymous and stuff like that. I get it, but I just do feel like we should have heard something to that effect before, that she had a brother and a sister, or as it pertains to the stepmother, they don't have a relationship or whatever. First time we're hearing about that. Has that always been the case? Was it due to something specific happening? Like, there's just a lot there that blew my mind. And so in this scene, she's traveling down to Atlanta. She was on the phone with Grace, if I'm not mistaken, to go, and shout outs, sidebar. Shout outs to Angel, if I'm not mistaken. She did pledge, and she is now an AKA just like her mother. So shout outs to her for that. I did see Gizelle post that, and I think that's awesome and stuff like that. Good on her. I just want to, throw that in there or whatever real quick. But going back to the scene, we see Gizelle traveling down there to hopefully put things to rest as far as it pertains to her father's assets and stuff. Her stepmother apparently is upset that she's even having to pay for lawyers and all this. And, Gizelle's whole thing is like, well, basically, if you would do right by me and my children and stuff like that, and not have, she didn't say that did she say? She might have said, I don't know, but I don't want to put words in her mouth. She didn't say that her mother, her stepmother, we know that there was some funny business going on with the will. And Gizelle has been very vocal about her father's condition leading up to his unfortunate passing. And he was not in the state to have been, cognitively, he could not have been someone that was able to sign off on a new will that was upheld in the end after his passing at that time. So it's giving that potentially, her stepmother might have had her hand in that. And obviously now Gizelle is like, and her kids are, of course, cut out of everything, and she doesn't think that's fair or right. And we have seen that she was very close to her father. So I do believe that she was supposed to be allotted something, but at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if he also left something to the stepmom as well. And then again, going back to the alleged brother and sister, so they weren't going to get anything at all either. Like, I don't know. I feel like I want to hear a little bit more about that. Has Gizelle done any interviews lately? Somebody please ask her. I'm not going to, because I'm still another Gizelle fan. I'm cool on her this season, y'all, but we ain't even going there. We're not going there with it. But yeah, I just really would like to know a little bit more about what went on there. Hey TikTok, make sure you guys come over here to YouTube and subscribe to the channel. Link is in bio. So just a little curious with that. And just to make a long story short with this, I will say that we saw in this episode that once she went down the courthouse, the judge basically is going to be taking some time to hear both sides, and instead of just throwing out whatever type of judgment, going to take time, hear both sides, taking everything into context, and then is going to reach out to the lawyers with with the ruling or whatever. So it's pretty much a hurry up and wait situation, but I hope it works out in the way that her father wanted it to work out. I'll say that. Another scene that I just am confused on. Kei and Greg. So we know they're back on and stuff like that. He also got a new house. We saw last season he was in the one house. He's in a new house now. She got her condo, but I'm still kind of confused there. And that's some more questions. I have some more questions because last season they were building a house, right? Or they're building a house that they're both about to buy or something. Like they were about to go in on a house together. So I'm trying to understand this housing situation. We know he has 3 daughters, if I'm not mistaken. So they've been going to couples counseling, and in the couples counseling, he said that basically he got the one house for when the kids is there, and then I guess Kay's spot is the spot that they'll be, in just them two once the kids are back with their mama or whatever, I guess. Am I following correctly? I think so. I don't know. Make sure you guys like the video. But they being Kay specifically, they're about to go to a Wu-Tang concert. And so she says that they're like in this really good space, and she says that things have just kind of been like better since they've taken the pressure off as far as timelines go and stuff like that. And I'm like, are you sure? Like, I'm still not buying this whole situation between her and Greg. I'm not really understanding what the value in that type of situation is, because I do feel like she is still like compromising what she truly either wants, or I'm also a little concerned because Kay has kind of rubbed me as somebody who is a bit selfish or a little maybe self-centered or whatever, which is fine to a degree because she's a single woman, got her own money, got her own business, got her own, stuff going on or whatever. So yeah, I think you're absolutely able to be selfish to a degree if you don't have kids, you don't have a pet, you don't got, anything, you are allowed to be selfish with your time to a degree. But I just am curious as to what the dynamic, how are things with him and his daughters, because yeah, when you are with somebody with children, I know that I would only want to be with somebody who does want to just put their children first, and sometimes with that comes you coming second. And that's why I ain't with nobody with kids, because I would like us to share that experience together, parenthood, and because I want a certain level of connectedness between us that sometimes cannot be upheld if you have other obligations such as children, stuff like that. And if that makes a person jealous, or not jealous, if that makes a person selfish, then I don't feel like there's anything wrong with that. It's only wrong if you come into the situation demanding that and thinking that you're going to just, outweigh the other obligations that person comes with. I grew up, and my stepmom obviously had my stepsisters and stuff like that. So that was never an issue between my dad and my stepmom and stuff like that. But I've also seen situations, especially in adulthood. I actually had, this is funny. I actually had a conversation a couple weeks ago about someone or with a good friend about someone who we mutually were friends with some years ago, and we've always been of the understanding that this person probably shouldn't have gotten married to the person they got married to because that person has children, and they were just not that accepting. I would venture to say that they didn't even like that person's kids. Like, didn't even want them around the house, washing clothes at big house, like nothing. But it's also funny because that person also has a child, and it was all cool, like when they would do things, when he and she would do things for her child, but it was a different situation when it came to his kids that he had prior to her getting together. So I always just find that very odd. And it's about you just being honest with yourself and knowing, like, can I be with somebody who has these other things going on in their life, or can I? So I hope she's okay with that. And just based off of, remember how Gizelle regarded her as a high maintenance friend. We've heard about what's going on between her and Wendy and stuff like that. And although I think that she was justified in certain instances when it pertains to those situations, I do feel like in other instances it was the product of her being kind of a more self-centered or selfish person, for lack of better words. So I just hope that that's not an issue. She hasn't said it is, but I just that's the back of my head at all times, because I do know that he has 3 daughters, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't know. And it also kind of seems like he's taking heed to what some of the viewers may have said too, because he is kind of showing up a little bit differently physically. It looked like he might have been hitting the gym a little bit too during the off season. So I don't know, child. Anyway, Stacey and Wendy, they have a little one-on-one where Stacey gives Wendy the 411 on Shio, and Wendy's like, literally, I have a picture. This is the only picture I have. Wendy's face when Stacey said what she said was like, girl. Wendy looked right at the camera and was like, if you guys want to see this picture, make sure you come on over here to YouTube. But Wendy was just like, girl, stop playing in my face. And I feel like maybe in past seasons, Wendy may have came at Stacey a little bit harder and stuff, but I do feel like Wendy's in her just carefree era and stuff like that right now. So she's just kind of letting it slide and stuff maybe. But I would be like, Stacey, you're playing in my face right now. Because of all words, you had to pick a word that is synonymous with joy or happiness, knowing that, you know, got Happy Eddie over here. You've denied coming out with the canvas line, only to then come out with the canvas line shortly following. But Wendy played it cool, and I have to give her kudos for that, because any other time I would have been like, that's definitely giving copycat energy. Anyway, Jassi's wedding. How'd you guys feel about that? I did see her wedding on social media prior to the season coming on and stuff, and it looked like a really nice wedding. I was a little curious why I was in Dallas. I know he was with the Cowboys, but Darius isn't from Texas or Dallas, right? Is he? Can I Google that real quick? I'm really curious as to why they had it in Dallas. No, he's from Mississippi. So, and she's not from there. So I was curious about that. Maybe they just have a lot of people in Dallas. I don't know. I was just thrown off by the fact that Wendy, Ashley, and Stacey could only be there for a short amount of time, not even for the full like wedding, like really only, I guess, for the ceremony part. And then they had to dip. To be honest with you guys, because that is such a special day to a person, some people regard it as the happiest day of their lives and, you know, put all that emphasis on their wedding day. That's a different story for a different day. But I just kind of found it very interesting, because I'm like, well, if you guys couldn't be there for the whole thing, then honestly, I'm the type of friend, like, then it's fine. Like, just don't come at all. Like, because I'd rather you be there for the whole thing. instead of trying to like fit me into this little like window or whatever. It's not like it's like a graduation party or like a, or not even graduate, like it's not like it's like a retirement party or like something where it's like, you know, you can just stop by, show your face real quick and dip and not really miss out on anything, but you're supposed to be there to celebrate that person or whatever. And just, I just rather you just be like, I can't even just make it at all, like when it comes to like something like this. But anyway, they showed up. Darius done upgraded Jassi's ring. Okay, I know that's right. Yeah, it looked like a very nice wedding, I will say, based on what I saw on social media. But the ladies have to get back to Pride, like we found out earlier in the episode. And speaking of Pride, they show back up in the DMV, and it's time to get on this float, honey. And Ashley also, or should I say Ash TOP, because she has, you know, her whole get up on and stuff like that. And so Ashley has also personalized some t-shirts for all the ladies with the following names. So Angel's was all over her tits. Wendy's was grease these nuts. Stacey's was lick her hosen. Tia's was proper puss popper. Gizelle's was serving jizz. And Kay was come inject her. I thought that was cute though. I think the shirts were cute. I do. I can't even hate on it. Okay, Ash, you get one point. But up until this point, Gizelle did not know that Monique was going to be making her reintroduction to the group. And so Gizelle's back was actually turned. They were all like standing around being cute or whatever. And in comes Monique, like, hey, what's going on? Turn up, like, let's do this. What's going on? And so she rolls through, and Gizelle was like completely caught off guard. She's trying to tap Cal, but Cal's like, hey, embraces Monique right off the bat. Wendy also embraces Monique right off the bat without hesitation. And so then Gizelle finally snaps back to reality and is like, hey Monique, and hugs her, and Monique hugs her back, and everything's cool for now. And Gizelle says, you know, since finding out about Monique's divorce and stuff like that, she's thought of Monique over the years. Obviously they have history. And so yeah, it was excuse me, y'all. I don't know where that yawn came from. It was interesting for her. And so she's hoping that this time around Monique shows up as her authentic self, which is something I related to earlier on in this live. I do hope that she does give her the real deal. Gizelle, I'm a whack her every which way when she's wrong, but on this I have to agree. I do hope that Gizelle or Monique shows up without the representative this go around, and gives us the truth. And her shirt said, "Doctor, do it a lot," because you know she got the animals and stuff like that. Which R.I.P. to T'Challa. Yeah, I found out earlier on in the episode, in that first scene, that she had got a new bird or whatever. You know, Monique loves her animals and stuff like that. So I did think that was cute as well. And we end the episode with Kay, of all people. I'm like, did a producer get in your ear? Because I'm like, girl, really? You should be the last one. Because you, the sensitive sisters, the sad, sensitive, sorry sisters, aka the K's and the Angels of the world, you guys should be the last two. Well, either of you guys should be the last two trying to bring up some tea or trying to air out something or whatever, because y'all is the most sensitive ones in the group. Like, God forbid. But she's actually the one that is going to drop the bomb about Monique and or about Stacey and Chris, apparently. So we're getting into that in episode 8. But this was my recap, my review of episode 7. Guess who's back? As I said earlier, y'all don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. If you're catching us on TikTok, make sure you come on over here to YouTube and subscribe to the channel, please and thank you. Also, share me with your folks. Make sure that notification bell is on so you don't miss any of my uploads, because like I said, I will be coming back later on with my good sis California Cutie with Coastal Critiques panel to discuss the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City's past 2 episodes. And I also want to do a little Bravo 411, y'all, during at some point during this weekend. I want to talk about some things that transpired during BravoCon. We got some Jen Shaw news this morning. Portia's been down there having issues in Atlanta. Mia, like there's been a lot going on across Bravo, and you guys know I love to just round it all up and just talk about all things with you guys. So yeah, that's all I got. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, like I said, share with people. And yes, y'all, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye. And bye to you too, TikTok.